Socrates said a long time ago that the unexamined life is not worth living. And what better way is there to examine your life than to reflect on your past successes and failures? Here is my reflection of my ENG. Before I started my second year at Seneca College, I looked back at my first year and I thought of all the things that I could improve on, more specifically, 3 skills that I wanted to improve. Number 1 was the quality of my video editing. Number 2 was my stand up presence. And number 3 was my research skills. My ENG helped me accomplish all 3. I'm not a bona fide certified expert yet, but I have improved tenfold over the last 4 months, and my ENG is a reflection of that. What I learned about my topic while making my ENG is that I really enjoyed the whole process, as challenging as it was. I enjoyed talking to my interviewees. They were both very educated on their subjects and were both super nice. On my end, I would have liked to have asked more hard-hitting questions, but I learned that if you're not clear on what kind of information you want, then it's hard to ask the proper questions. I also learned a lot more about climate change, and I 100% support the efforts to stop it, or at least try to slow it down. I also reflected on how climate change could be affecting me personally, and I did notice that dense and long-lasting fogs have been blanketing Toronto lately, and I wondered if that could be a direct result of climate change. I don't know much about fog, and when I tried to look it up, I couldn't find a lot of information, but I do know that the recent fogs have been the densest and most active fogs that I've ever seen in Toronto, and I've lived here for over 40 years. My ENG also helped me learn more about what the government is doing to protect our climate. I was kind of shocked actually when I learned about all of the initiatives to become more eco-friendly, and the number of online resources about climate change was a bit overwhelming, but it made me feel good that it has been being taken seriously and worked on as a major problem. I also learned that a lot of companies are going with greener practices as well. They are buying fleets of electric vehicles to transport their goods and are offering more and more options to the consumer when it comes to buying eco-friendly products. And almost every single car manufacturing company has either a hybrid or an electric vehicle in its fleet, which had me thinking about the future of automobiles actually. If everyone eventually owns an electric vehicle, in 500 years from now, will there be no gas-powered cars anywhere? Like a complete extinction of the era in a way. I don't know. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 gas-powered cars around somewhere, but they'll be in a museum behind glass, preserved as a remnant and to showcase the progression of our species. You never know. My ENG would have been better if I would have done a closing stand-up. It was a big topic and I found it hard to focus on only one aspect of it, so I tried to keep it as general as possible, but it really would have been more professional if I would have done a closing stand-up. Also, some of the editing could have been done better, but I did learn a lot of new techniques while I was putting my clips together, so that's good. And going back, I would have liked to have asked my interviewees more focused questions, so I could have used more of their footage in my video. While I was shooting my stand-up, it was a really nice day out, sunny and mild. The buses didn't take too long to get to my location, and the video production was just a good experience overall. Also, doing this ENG was the first time that I used the equipment that I had bought from Best Buy. I shot the whole stand-up using just my cell phone, a compatible tripod, and a Bluetooth remote that I linked to my phone to stop and start the video recorder. I'm a bit of a tech geek, so I was thrilled to be able to try out my new stuff. Going back to the beginning, my ENG helped me feel better about myself overall. My goal was to do better this year, and I did. It may not be reflected in my marks, but I'm still very proud of my work from the semester. I set goals for myself, and I accomplished them through self-reflection and dedication. I learned a lot more about climate change, and I learned some new techniques and editing skills as well. I'm taking the mistakes I made and learning from them to better myself in the future, but I am proud of the progress I've made and what I've learned. Through reflection and dedication, I'm creating a whole new me, a more confident and well-rounded me. And as George Bernard Shaw said, life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And reflection is the biggest part of that, whether it be personally or professionally. Thank you for listening. The end.